we have representatives on INC, the Neighborhood Cooperation, on the BRT committees, stakeholder committees, and on the Neighborhood Advisory Committee for the Denver Botanic Gardens. And we ask for volunteers in other areas as projects arise. So now I'm going to introduce you to the other board members. I myself work with neighbors on various issues that arise in the neighborhood and try to connect them with different departments. I'm on the Neighborhood Advisory Committee for the Botanic Gardens and organize our meetings and that we have every other month. Tom Connis. Tom, would you like to say a couple of words? Tom? Maybe you can't hear me. There we go.
Now?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I'm in charge of distributing the newsletter and keeping up the membership rolls. And am I forgetting anything? I think
well, distributing the newsletter is a very big job. So thank you for that, Tom.
Tom is the secretary. He takes the notes,
Oh, that's right. That's what I'm doing right now.
sends them so that we can publish them. And that'll be a good thing because some of the recording didn't work right now.
Wendy publishes our newsletter. Wendy, would you like to say a few words?
Hi, yeah, this is Wendy, and I want to mention what else Tom does, which is to encourage other people to join as well. When he sees that houses have been sold in Congress Park, he sends out a note to them and says, you know, here's your neighborhood organization, please consider joining. So that's a big job as well. So thanks, Tom. Yeah, I do the newsletter. I have been doing that for more than 23 years for some stupid reason. I think I have a life sentence now. So I do enjoy it, and I enjoy hearing from people that they enjoy the newsletter. So I guess I'll keep doing it until they fire me.
Miles, why don't you say a few words? This is Miles Tangelin. He's our treasurer. He also is our representative in the BRT area. Miles, could you say a few words?
Sure. Thanks, Vicki. So my name is Miles Tanglin. So I've been involved with the BRT since the beginning, over 10 years, and it's unfortunate the direction it's going, but trying to get feedback from them about the changes and just some simple information about how traffic will change, and just they will not release it. So hopefully today we can get some information for the first time. I'm also involved with Maggie on the INC, which is a large umbrella RNO for the whole city. So we're both the delegates for Denver, or I'm sorry, for Congress Park. And I'm with Vicki on the Botanic Gardens NAC Neighborhood Advisory Committee. And I'm going to also be attending. They're now talking about BRT on Colorado Boulevard. so this just continues. So we're going to try to stay ahead of this with seeing everything that happened now with this process. Hopefully we can force some changes.
Thanks,
And
Miles.
I just want to mention that Miles is also really knowledgeable about zoning. So when zoning issues come up, we turn to Miles for some explanation. I usually make this I don't know face and say, Miles, help.
I also want to mention Charlotte Redden, who has volunteered and is on the Neighborhood Advisory Committee for the Botanic Gardens too. So thank you for your service, Charlotte. So one of the items on the ballot is the retention of the
What if-
exist.
Vicky, sorry, what about Maggie?
Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Maggie has cold, so I'm sorry, Maggie.
That's okay. Okay, I have quite a cold, so I'll try to be brief and maybe you'll be able to understand me. I do the website. I send out the email blasts to people, try to assist with other things, work with Wendy in some cases to put some things out on the website that will eventually go into the newsletter. I am a representative to INC. Formerly, I was the chair of their Parks and Recs committee, but that's reorganizing now. So we'll see what happens with that. And I think that's about it. Any questions?
You have to mention that when Maggie says I do the website, it's just like 4 words, but it's a huge job. And I have to thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, everyone. Maggie, sorry about that. So there's the items on the ballot are the retention of the existing board. We've all agreed to continue in our volunteer work for 2024. So that will be on the ballot along with the 3 bylaw updates, modifications. Maggie will be sending out the ballots after the meeting, and then you'll have 5 days to vote. Maggie, how are they going out?
They'll go out via SurveyMonkey
Survey.
and they'll go out to all of our members who are in good standing, meaning those that joined prior to, I believe it's September 20th.
Great. I want to emphasize that I've heard from several neighbors about concerns around BRT. And before I ask if there are other issues that would like to get on the agenda for the coming year, I just want to assure everyone BRT will be at every meeting that we can get them to attend. So I will ask if there are any questions or other issues that would like to be put on the agenda for the coming year.
Vicky, I'd like to clarify another thing too.
Sure.
The ballots will go out hopefully tomorrow, but certainly tomorrow, and there will be 5 days for those people to send them back in.
Great. All right, it looks like we've gotten through our members meeting a few minutes early. Is there anyone that wants another topic discussed in the coming year? John? John, you're muted. John, you're muted.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Thanks, Vicky. I appreciate it.
Sure.
So you and I have exchanged some emails, and the BRT thing. We on the 1300 block and a number of other blocks obviously are concerned about that because of the only places you can take left-hand turns in and out of the neighborhood are going to be, 4 or 5 of our streets. But beyond that, just to tag on, because I don't know if BRT is a fait accompli at this point. It sounds like they're going to go ahead with it, whether anybody likes it or not. But I think some of the bigger issues around that, and even aside from that, before BRT was even envisioned, is the one-way streets. And I think what we'd like to see is a whole movement to, and this was in the report of 4 years ago on the street study, is reduce 14th from 3 lanes to 2 lanes. And I think those one-way streets too. I mean, our discussion with people has been, we need to take back the streets in the neighborhood. They haven't posted, all the side streets now are 20 miles an hour. They haven't posted it anywhere. So nobody knows that. And when it's 20, people do 25. And then on the one-way streets, it's 30. And it probably needs to get knocked down to 25 so that people will do 30 instead of 35 or 40. So anyway, I won't get into it all now, but that's part of what our participation is going to be in working with Congress Park Neighbors and whoever else we can work with to try to affect those changes on a broader scale than just the BRT.
Hi, John, this is Maggie.
Hi, Maggie.
I hope that you address this when we have the BRT people here. We've certainly tried to address it many, many times. When that survey that you refer to was done, it was with funds that were given by Councilman New. They were working with the Safe Streets Committee that we had, and it was primarily focused on 8th Avenue and below.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful if we could continue to work and to get some of these things going on. But just so you know, that's how it came about.
Yeah. And I appreciate all the work you guys have done. I know how hard it is to be a volunteer. But I think what our position is, so to speak, is that I don't think the BRT people, frankly, are going to listen to us. I think that this is almost a separate issue. The BRT is going to do what they're going to do. And I think regardless of BRT, those 4 one-way streets and lack of enforcement, speed limit, number of lanes, so on and so forth, create both a safety hazard and really kind of a financial impact on people's property values. So that's kind of the tack that I think we need to take, is work with whoever will listen and not even worry necessarily about BRT, what they're doing, because we need to worry about that too, but that's a separate issue almost.
I don't disagree, but it appears, like that Dottie doesn't know from where they're doing. We're seeing a huge amount of construction now on 14th Street.
Yeah.
And that's impactful. I know that they had some terrible issues going down Jackson Street because they didn't have any kind of police presence to keep people blocked off. And so there was speeding that was going on. Hopefully they'll be able to do that, but they have created so many things in there, and I don't disagree with you. Those are things that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
yeah,
think the
no,
neighborhood needs to take a position that we're taking our streets back, and regardless of BRT, we don't like the speeding, we don't like the number of lanes, we don't like the speed limits, and we don't like the lack of enforcement. I know like on our block, there must be 5 or 6 young couples now. And frankly, they have a lot. And I'm trying to get them involved as we get cranked up here. I mean, they have little children. The children walk to school, they ride their bikes. I mean, they're the people that really have more should have more skin in the game, really.
Well,
So,
as you maybe remember, the way that we take positions is with a survey. And we send
yeah,
those things out, and that doesn't mean that we're not going to do it. It just
yeah,
means that we have not done it at this point in time. I
yeah,
really thank you for taking some sort of position on this. We've been sending these things out now for 2 years, 3
yeah,
years to
yeah,
notify people, sending them as much as possible. So I really appreciate you listening, and let's try to get something that's positive going.
Yeah,
yeah.
so John, let me add this too. The
Yeah.
other thing, everything is interconnected.
Yep.
The East Central Area Plan allows higher densities along Colfax. We can't get information about just how the BRT is going to change traffic on 14th, and
Right.
specifically at those left turns. They haven't even calculated what the issue will be on 14th. Because I hear the consultants say we've not looked at it, but the program manager says, oh no, it's all calculated. So again, the question is, and then the city's also going to put a protected bike lane on 14th as well. So you've got higher densities, you've got limited left turns, and from listening to the traffic consultant, they don't even know what the calculations are for 14th. So you're moving the traffic from Colfax, which will become 1 lane in each direction, and you're moving it all to 14th. What does that mean? Well, the car's going to back up when they're going down Adams Street. They're going to back up all the way. Are they going to move the stoplights? How are they going to slow the traffic? Are they going to have to remove parking? So all of these things and they move the construction schedule a year ahead. So they don't want to talk about these things. We've been trying to bring these things up at the public meetings. They either don't answer the question, or you can type a question in and they just will not answer it.
Yeah.
So, and this is federal, city, and state money. So this is where maybe to get, council, the mayor, the governor, it's kind of like, it may have to be just a group of people just hitting all the bases to say, hey, you guys don't even know what this is going to do to the neighborhood and the houses and the people living there. You're going to move the accidents to 14th Avenue.
Yeah.
What's
Well,
the plan?
you're absolutely right. And Miles, it'd be fun to have a cup of coffee with you sometime and talk about what your history with all this has been, because you know a lot more about it than I do. But I think that the ultimate, the bottom line is that we're not going to be able to play nice with these people, and it's very hard to get. I've been an executive director of a couple of nonprofits over the years. It's very well. You guys are volunteers. It's very hard to get volunteers involved, but
Yes,
there needs to be, and I'm willing to participate in that, to really try to get people off the dime, because I think we need a forceful effort, and let these, we need to put Chris Hines, Deanna DeGette, whoever it is on the hot seat, and say, we're not putting up with this.
and if there's accidents and people are killed on 14th because of increased traffic, it's like the blood's on your hand, because you guys didn't do an analysis, you didn't understand, you didn't remediate anything.
Yeah. Okay, well, I won't take any more of you guys' time, but anyway, we're going to
Matt?
be working on that, and I'll work closely with you all to see what we can do to affect some change.
Matt,
I'll be brief. I am retweeting what John just said and would be happy to be involved with that effort. We would love to have less traffic on 13th and 14th, or bike lanes, or two-way traffic to slow things down, like on 12th or whatever. I'm pro that.
great.
Right on.
Tom?
Yeah, because just a point of order, for I'm taking the minutes. We need to announce that we have a quorum.
We have a quorum for our members meeting tonight, December 20th,
Thank you.
2023. If it's all right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward to the general meeting. I want to remind everyone the meeting is being recorded. Amber?
So are we just going to ignore Brian's hand? I'm kind of confused. Am I the only one seeing that?
No, I see it. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think these all sound like great ideas though, concerning 14th. That's a scary road right now, and it's going to get scarier maybe. Yeah.
Mr. Wilson?
Thank you, Ms. Epler. I just have a few follow-up questions from earlier. To John and Matt in particular, you both mentioned wanting to, I'm just going to boil it down to kind of take back the streets on 14th and 13th. Would you two be interested in potentially like leading an effort on that, or joining to lead an effort? Maybe, possibly.
Well, can I chime in then? Are you asking me for one person? I just sent out an email to everyone on our 1300 block of Adams today, because that's the only email list I have from our block parties. But I've set up a Gmail account called Our Streets Alliance. And I've gone ahead and I've reserved the meeting room at Park Hill Library, because I can't find a good spot in Congress Park to have a meeting. But I've reserved that for January 10th. And I was going to start however I can between now and then to get the word out and have some initial meetings, and then and try to get those younger people involved, especially the ones with kids. And really, I don't mind sort of helping head it up, but I'm not around all the time. And so it's going to take, and it's not an easy thing, as Vicky and everyone else knows. I mean, this is something that, we can't just expect to have a couple meetings and it's all done. We got to really, we got to get in the trenches and make life uncomfortable for the people to make the decisions. But so, yeah, I'd love to have your help, and maybe I'd get your email at some point and get you on board.
Yeah, it's brianbybike@gmail.com. I'm going to try to shoot you an email right now, though.
Okay, good. Thanks.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the general